old
Fucking
coins
racking
over
out
its
larger
eyes.
speed.
Alexander finds 2 coins on the skeleton's eyes. He takes the old coins.
And I had to say that one in particular is a bit cunty because you see you see the shimmer effect
Yeah,
like
the glint,
once or
yeah.
twice, and you might be forgiven of missing it again, especially considering all the skeletons kind of do look the same. Like it hasn't really done enough to discern itself from the rest of the background art. So that's a bit sneaky now, I have to say. Again, this is not a surprise considering what we're playing and how we're playing it. So
It's a trap. The doors have sealed Alexander inside. And the
audible
ceiling is
gasp.
coming down.
Whatever shall we do next?
That won't save. In a
Bang!
desperate,
They ripped us off Resident Evil. What the
brick
hell?
is caught between two
Yeah.
cogs. The
What do you mean?
gears
Every
shriek
catacomb
and
comes
shimmer.
with a nice
The
squishy
mechanism
room.
grinds to a halt. The ceiling is stuck.
What a throw there, Alexander.
The trap
As
is
I say,
stuck.
nothing wrong with this fucking throw there, is there?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he could have easily slung that tomato.
The ceiling is stuck. Alexander is
It would have
standing
been
in a
hilarious if he
trap
had the
room with a
tomato at this
crushing
point. He
ceiling.
tried it on that, and
The
then
mechanism that
obviously that
lowers the
just
ceiling
dies a
has been stopped.
horrible, miserable
The trap
death, and
room
then
now
Alexander gets
stands open.
squished.
Mm-hmm.
Squished in various different ways. So now we're on to the second area of the catacombs. So this is a lot bigger, a lot more like unnecessary space, is what I would say.
And a lot more deaths, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of. Like this, it's the same thing as like there's just a lot of other alcoves that are around, and then once you basically cover that bit, you're fine. You know, it kind of makes you go like it's definitely one of those ones where like again, much like with mazes, oh, there we go. There's our
Sounds! A trap floor!
I'm not sure why doing a river dance in midair was going to save you there, Alexander, but you know,
Downs.
Zounds, yeah.
That's clearly a
Alexander seems
Scooby-Doo
to have
reference, I think.
fallen to a lower level
Oh,
of
you're gonna hear
catacombs.
Zounds a lot. It's like
Wherever he
it's like the
is,
Daventry
the
equivalent of
floor
cunt.
is dark.
Now,
Or
here,
shit.
see
Can't even
this.
see
You
his
actually
hand in front of
survived
his
this
face.
one.
Yes.
So, woe betide anybody who was speed loading the instant they saw the
Oh.
trapdoors come open, you know?
Oh yeah, actually, in fairness.
Alexander.
But again, that's another example of a game that's just not following its own rules.
Yeah.
In the sense where, like,
You,
you know,
you
like
actually
the
have to fall into one of them. Like,
yeah. And how do you know is the
Alexander
question? Like
takes
how,
the
like
candle
yeah,
from
like
the
how is
tinder
it
box
yeah,
and uses the
demonstrate
flint
that
in the
you
box to
have the
light
right
it.
one here?
Aha! So that's why it's dark in here. A torch is out.
Alexander lights the extinguished torch and puts his tinderbox
There we
away.
go. Now everything's fine. But yeah, so like but yeah, like I think the whole kind of the thing with the second stage of catacombs, it just basically makes it a long way around. Like as is often the case with mazes, this is what is kind of pads the game time out a little bit, which is kind of odd because in what was the game we had like that had like a really obnoxious long maze? Was it Leisure Larry 3? Where we had to go through like a massive cornfield or
oh,
something
the
like
fucking was it a
As he
cornfield or was it
walks
like a
through the door.
grass maze?
yeah, yeah, something like that. And that like took up like about 25% of the game. But because of the maze was like so like long, and you had like it was a case where like you go to point A and point B is the opposite side of
Yeah.
the grid.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
like,
that one
okay,
kills us.
Don't just
yeah.
one.
It's just like, yeah, this is like well, yeah, part of the course. But yeah, like that one was like clearly intended to pad timeout, you know. Um, Whereas like in a game like this, where like there's actually like an adequate amount of content, you like the maze is kind of like a bit old hat now, you know. But I suppose it's still in keeping with the style of game they have. What they are going to have tools and catacombs and all this sort of shit to play with. So I think we can allow a free pass on this one. Now, if a fucking maze shows up in Space Quest fucking 5, I'm going to be
As
very
he
upset.
walks through the doorway.
Now, I did also make sure to try and find as many of the deaths as possible to see if there actually are any
Don't just
different.
want
But I'm just gonna say it now. No, they were all just trapdoors, and I was really disappointed.
Aw.
I thought Sierra was gonna be really creative with their deaths and do like a, oh, you found the Yeti, he's gonna eat you now type of thing.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's a bit odd. It's weird because this is actually a darker King's Quest. It's actually widely considered to be the best King's Quest, but the darker
Yeah.
one because it's mostly written not in fact by Roberta Williams but by Jane Jensen.
Mm. There is you certainly see an improvement in the writing, and it's not even just the writing. Like King's Quest is not exactly fucking Shakespearean by any stretch of the imagination. But a good game is a good game. And like writing is not just restricted to like having good dialogue and stuff like that. Like it has to have a good flow. And the puzzles have to make some degree of sense. Like this is the one game where I'd actually adequately say I didn't really pick up any moon logic. You know? No, again, it's the same thing where like the there's a bit of
Not
pixel
yet, not yet.
Not yet. Yeah.
There's the lamp puzzle later on that's definitely fucking hella moon logic.
Oh yeah, the lamp puzzle. Yeah, that's a bit of a stretch now, in fairness.
walks.
It's an incredible
but-
stretch.
Alexander gets a very bad
But
feeling.
there is certain things like, oh,
But it's great. We're seeing this trapdoor from multiple angles. Like, what happens when he enters from the left or the right or up from above?
Tickets. Oh,
I suppose that was cheaper than having multiple ways to die in these
Don't
catacombs.
just wonder.
and also like have we hit the sense gnomes yet?
We've done them as well. Yeah.
Yeah, the sense gnomes. That was totally fucking holy shit. Like particularly, Psy. Like fuck yeah, that was immensely.
one was a bit odd now,
unlogic-y.
yeah. But do you know what? The side one, I think that was more of a case where like, oh, they have a really good idea for 4 of the 5, and then they kind of had to kind of like, this one really doesn't work, but fuck it, we'll try it.
Yeah, but it's the way of like you have to listen to the guy who says that he got all the stuff from a magic house and then he clears it out into the pot out the front. So you kind of that means the little bottle of ink you get has to be magical.
Yeah.
But the leap from it's invisible fucking ink that I pour it onto myself.
Mm.
Come on, like
Yeah, I think King's Quest always worked on a conceit that about the kind of the fantastical fairy tale stuff. So it's poaching elements from Alice in Wonderland and all the fucking like Disney movies and all this sort of stuff.
The thing is, from that as well, like you only hear about that if you ask
hears the
about the
sound of
map.
the wild
Like if you
feast.
don't
Yeah.
ask about the
This
map,
time,
he never
so
tells you
loud that
about
the
the
creature
estate
itself
that he got
seems to be
everything
in the
from,
same
being being a wizard's one.
The
Like
noises are
Yeah.
coming from the
It's
other
insane.
side of the east wall.
there's less of them, but this still has that bullshit.
Oh yeah. And but like I said, like a Sierra game that has the kind of the minimal bullshit to it is still like that's
Alexander puts
that's
the
not
hole in
nothing
the
in a
wall
sense.
on
Like
the
that is
east
actually
wall.
kind of like to be
The hole
celebrated
in the
somewhat.
wall trembles slightly with dread at the clammy feeling of the stone.
So yeah, we got our dialogue clue there that the Minotaur almost sounds like it's in the room with us right now.
Ah,
Alexander peers through the hole in the wall and sees.
Oh, that's
just another
that's
room in
disappointing.
the catacombs.
Alexander looks through the hole in the wall and sees a horse's ass.
Not just another room at all.
Alexander doesn't understand
So
what this
that's
means.
Why Alexander couldn't
Ah.
find the Minotaur's lair. At least Alexander now knows the lair exists somewhere in the maze on the other side of this wall. While Alexander contemplates what he's just seen, the hole in the wall, frightened by the Minotaur, makes a run for it. Alexander hopes the little creature finds its way home.
He'll be
but does
fine.
not
It's a
wonder.
cartoon. Everyone finds their way home eventually.
it's a puppet.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's not real. It's an algorithm. It's fine. It was programmed to do that. But like I said, I like considering the fact that like there is always a little bit of like there's a little bit of like the fantastical element in the design. I didn't really like. I'm thinking like there were other King's Quest games that were very very obnoxious with it. I suppose like if you weren't really like paying attention, the dangling parsible one I think would be a bit of a stretch. unless you realize like, oh, it is actually very literal, the kind of way. But again, the bookworm kind of like, literally spells it out for you. So I'm looking for a device of the English language. Go find it.
Yeah.
But certainly, I think the fact that Jane Jensen is the one to write this kind of like, has limited the amount of Sierra bullshit to a sufficient minimum. As much as we enjoyed the Gabriel Knight game, that also had a little bit of Sierra bullshit too. But I think it had such like nice kind of like charm to it that we kind of gave it a bit of a free pass. I think really like, yeah, I'd say like the Sierra bullshit was the last level where we get into the voodoo, into the Hound Hour,
Yeah.
and like basically death here, death there, fuck you, kind of way. That was
If you want to get the proper ending, you have to find the room where all the cash in it, nick the cash, then complete the game.
You have to leave stuff for fucking for Mark Hamill to find that sort of stuff. I know he's not actually Mark Hamill, but I can't remember the character's name, so it's fine.
A very beautiful, very dusty tapestry hangs.
Was it
on the
Mark
wall.
Hamill in that?
Mark Hamill wasn't that. He was the detective.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
This tapestry
Can't remember
looks
the
familiar.
character's name. That's
Oh,
gonna annoy me.
Mosley.
Now let's see.
Mostly. That's what it was. Yeah.
I don't feel anything.
Mostly.
Aha! A hidden latch.
Do you think Tim Curry got paid more by saying mostly all the time?
Door rolls open.
To be fair, how much of a fucking luxury would that have been to have Tim Curry going like, "Hey, can you be like a sexy protagonist? Don't mind if I do."
And having Mark Hamill as well. Like,
I
I'd have had
know,
them
yeah.
both in on the same day and just had a laugh. Oh,
Struggles.
It actually is remarkable when you actually do play some of these old games and like the fucking cast some of them have are incredible.
She must
wasn't
be
Michael
Celeste.
Dorn was the voodoo guy as well?
Yes,
Yeah, he was the
yes,
voodoo,
Dr. Yeah.
the big guy. Yeah.
His accent was a tremendous addition to that as well, because like his kind of like his West Indie / Hayden accent was really good, and like which is a rarity because like with Michael Dorn, like whatever outside of Worf obviously, like those roles are all he never get to show his range with accents. That's pretty cool.
Prepared to be his human bitch.
Enter my lair.
I ask you to release your captive or suffer the consequences.
Like I know like the graphics are not the best in terms of like the with the style of the time, but the Minotaur does look like he's just a stag do gone wrong, doesn't it? Like
The hell of a
Alexander
time.
slowly
It was a silent
backs away.
son.
like literally like that guy is just doing fancy dress. He's actually part of the
Until he
Welsh
can back
rugby
away.
team and everything is fine. He's just had a bit of ket and he's not come down yet.
We're trapped.
Are we trapped?
Alexander, his back inches from the fiery pit, tempts the Minotaur with the Red Queen's scarf.
Look here, you bully. Nice, bright red.
Red. Now you die. The Minotaur drops from sight amidst the consuming flames. Slowly, his scream fades as well.
Roasted Minotaur for dinner, anybody?
Mm-hmm.
Have you
We
been
fancy
home?
a prime line there?
No,
Yeah,
I am not all right. I assume you do not intend to leave me tied up on this vile
You're fucking welcome.
Of course not.
I could just leave
Sorry,
you here if you
let's-
prefer.
Throw
Maybe
her
you
into
can-
the
Give me a
fucking
moment.
pit.
I'll have these untied in no time.
Here, Icarus, fuck you. Get out.
Look, I wear a small dagger just inside my belt. It should be enough to cut the rope.
Oh, all right. I've got it, Lady Celeste. Here we go.
Wow,
Yeah,
Alexander,
you
you're
should
so
cut that
heroic.
fucking tongue out of your head, woman.
Thank you. You may keep the dagger as a gift for saving my life.
That's very
I
generous.
mean, she looks
Forget it.
nice.
Do you mind if we just get out of here now?
I don't really want to judge the looks of a graphics, looks of a of a Sierra character at this time and age, but maybe have a little go at that. Just let's try.
the Winged One's guards, bored with the pointless
That crow's a
waiting,
bit suspicious,
are
Neil.
startled by the sound of rock moving against rock.
Oh, he's suspicious. That's a suspicious bird.
Lady Celeste, bide thee well.
Oh, the glinting. You see the glinting?
Thanks to
I
the
do.
bravery of a mere
That fucking
human.
bird is
They've even
spooky.
paused
Honey.
it there on
Your
the glint.
superior intellect.
Yeah, so that you can see it. It's like, look,
I'm alone.
look at
I'm
it.
going home.
I like that she flew off and just expected the guards to pick us up as well, rather than like,
I see you have proven yourself the hero of the prophecy. Well, I am expected to
But
thank
I
you
won't.
for saving my daughter's life. So I thank you. I am obliged to thank you for the restoration of our sacred catacombs.
You're only expected to.
It means much to our people.
He-
We have
he's,
already
like,
Obliged.
begun
he's,
the
like,
process of
he's reading out the
clearing
terms and
every
conditions
tract
of his
its
contract.
ruins.
It's like,
Yeah.
It is
right, well,
also
according to
my
this, I
duty
have to
grant
thank
a visit
you,
with
I
the
have to
oracle.
throw you a
So this I
party,
do.
and I have to give
I
you
will
a
grant you the freedom to leave here
pat
unharmed,
on the back.
despite my orders to
Who
the contrary from
who the
crowd.
fuck wrote this?
But there,
Who wrote?
my obligation
Was it
to
you? It was you,
end.
wasn't it?
I have no love for Alhazred, but he is my
Ah, don't worry
leader,
about it. I only
and if
helped save your
Princess
kingdom and
Cassandra
your daughter.
trusts him and wishes to wed him,
Yeah, and like, your
my
catacombs are now
guards will
safe
take you to the
for,
oracle now.
human
When your
consumption.
time with
So,
her is through, I want you to leave the city
and
of the Winged
I kind of
Ones
like I'm
and
gonna
never
leave the
return.
steps open on the
I don't
on the
know
cliffs
who
of
you
logic, so
are
now
or what
anyone
you
can
want
pop
here,
up and say
but I
hi.
will not disobey my crown for
So also sorry about you.
Thank you, Lord Azure. I will respect your wishes.
Aha. Now I don't know whether like again the artwork is class and all that, but just by the way it's lit, it makes it look like we're actually talking to a gargoyle, like a stone statue. That's the way it looks like to me, as opposed to like what it's actually meant to be as scene wise.
That haunts my pool of late. Welcome, young seeker. What knowledge do you
Can Arsenal win the league this year? No,
Princess
sir.
Cassandra,
Of course they can't.
whatever you
It's
can tell me,
impossible.
great oracle.
So, but why? Oh, great oracle. They're missing a
We
top
made it up.
class number 9.
Cleanse my images. Let us see what we can see.
They also have structural weaknesses between their defense and midfield. Oh, that's actually that's true, Oracle. Yes.
Maiden, lovely and pure, but surrounded by evil. She's a rose set amidst bitter thorns. It is her fate to be the pawn of dark powers. And
Oh, thank
you-
God! It's the plot of the game. I thought we were missing it there for a second. Oh, oof. I got worried
How
there
do
for
I
a
redeem
second.
her?
Mm-hmm.
Fate is not like the cut of a blade, young one, but rather like the myriad of paths formed when a hammer cracks ice. I will tell you what I can, but what will actually come to pass is up to you. I see that any attempt to reach the girl will force you into battle, a struggle against a dark force. If you lose,
Nice way of the game telling us we have a bit of a bad ending.
Mm-hmm.
Who must I fight?
A great darkness surrounds your adversary, preventing me from seeing clearly. I can only make out the shape of a
Do we know anyone who wears black cloaks? Are they fashionable this time of year? Is it autumn?
I see an
All these questions and more on King's Quest 6.
dangerous game of hide and seek in corridors filled with enemies. The risks are high.
Again, this is also them signposting the final level, saying that, like, you could get
There is a
people-
stealth section.
Okay, I don't know what she was talking about here, to be honest, because I played the last level of the game. There isn't really any stealth. Like,
What else do you see, mighty
like
oracle?
there is a moment where you're basically told, "Ooh, like you can hear guard dogs coming. Just move." Like it ain't stealth. You know what I mean? Like it's the same thing where like yeah. Oh, what do we have that? We had that recently in a Sierra game, I think, or something similar, where like you go into a room and you're caught, but like the person like walks to the center of the room and just lets whatever happens happens. It's like, move, dude! Like fucking fight back or something, you know?
Possible